And we're recording. This is the Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning summer to summer group. And glad to be here. Glad to be here with you guys this morning. Got a lovely Saturday morning out there with some clouds, and the streets are wet from rain, and sun's breaking through. So for Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, we're loving it. So let's see what we got here. We got some tear sheets from Untitled. Um, Anyone want to claim these tears? Okay. Well, in that case, we'll just move on to the next one. All right. We have Shane Ernest. Is Shane with us today? Shane. Oh, not with us today. Um, Very cool shot, Shane. Question I would ask right up front is it a composite or is it straight out of the camera? It doesn't really matter either way. It's a very nicely done photograph. The skin tones match the background, the warmth of the background. I think that's important when you're doing a shot like this. Um, if it was lit, I'd love to know the lighting on this, Shane. Um, Very cool. Um, Also, it looks like it's desaturated a little bit, and that's something I like. Strong shot. Anybody have some comments for Shane's picture here? Gonna find out what you all think about it. Nobody? Okay.
Well, again, I'd love to know how it was lit actually, and I left him a comment on Flickr saying I'd love to know how you lit this, but didn't hear
Yeah.
anything. It looks like just one big light source, sort of in high. Um, it's just gorgeous light. Um,
First thing I look at is where are the shadows falling? So we got a little bit of a shadow from this arm right here. That tells me that there's some direction to the light, right? Second thing I look for is do we have any specular highlights? We do, right along this knuckle ridge, this knuckle ridge. Look at the inside of the ear. Look at this vein right here and part of the arm. So it seems to me that there's a light right off camera right. I could be wrong, but it seems to me that's the case. Now, if we look at the background, we'll see that the background is not lit camera right. It's, at least it doesn't look lit camera right to me. Now, it may be that it's a very soft early morning sunrise or very soft late day sunset, and that he is indeed in a little area where the light's just a little poppier for him than it is back here. That's the case, but I think it works out very well. I see a very bright area back over here. I look at these reeds and things out here, and I wonder, see this dark patch up here? This tells me it's not front lit. This back over here, and then look at the speculars on his hair, and then look at the bright edge here on the shirt. That tells me there's some light coming from back over there, and I'll bet you that's the sun over there, slightly backlighting him, and we've got some light source up front. That's how I would proceed if I had to match this shot. Probably big, soft light source in front. Um, okay. I don't know what NBs are, Tracy. Um, and Tracy's not with us either today. Don't know what NBs are. Is this dog? Are these dog treats? Anybody know? Anybody have a dog? Feed them NBs? Don't know. Light's interesting. I don't know, Tracy, if this shot really moves me very much. Um, it's a design, but it's for some reason the everything seems like it's falling away. It looks like a wide angle lens used in real close, so we have this falling away from it. I'm not crazy about that. I do like the little bit of hot light that you've got, which creates a little bit of a specular there. I think that's cool, and I think for still life, it's something that a lot of photographers, if your light gets too soft too often, you might want to think about adding a little kicker like that. I do like that. I do like the way the shadows going across. Whose is this? John Mather. John's not with us today either. Darn it. And he's got. Who can tell me what the first thing John needs to do on this picture? Who knows watch pictures real well? Anybody?
Set the hands 2 and 10.
2 and 10. Yep. Pretty much always. It's either 10 minutes to 2 or it's 10 after 10. Make your choice. But these arms, these hands are this way right here. Usually that is to provide the logo some space, because the logo will probably in most situations be right here. Since there's no logo here, no harm, no foul. However, it's still pleasing to the eye to have that. Second hand, you could leave the second hand down like that. That wouldn't be a problem anywhere down in here. Now the shot itself, let me make me move it, make sure it's not, yeah. We've got these little anomalies. John, I know John's going to watch the video. All these little anomalies, little white things, and looks like a little hair, a couple of spots here, some spots over here. See how this shadow gets a little rough here? On watch photography, this kind of detail can't do that. Must clean those up. I would say that it probably takes longer to do the Photoshop on a shot like this than it actually takes to photograph it. All this in here has got to be cleaned up. It cannot be left alone. Okay, we got some little scuffs in the leather here. Must be cleaned up. Then we've got, I can't tell, it looks like the watch is kind of tilted to one side. Oh, it is tilted to one side. So John tilted the watch to one side, and he's not here to tell us why. So I'm not going to second guess that. I'm going to say that it's rare to see a watch tilted that way, but rare doesn't mean never. Fix this up in here, John. And of course, if we're going to show the side of the watch, we cannot lose the side of the watch into the background, which is what's happened here. Got to get a fill card from back there to light up the edge of the watch so we have some feeling of dimension. Same thing down in here. We've lost the side of this. If we're going to show the side, we got to see it. Have to see it. Nice set of tear sheets by tear sheet number 1. John McAllister. John, are you on here today? You are on here.
Hi, Don. Good to hear.
Yes. Okay. So nice set of tear sheets here.
I went out looking for magazines and whatnot and found these. I think the most interesting me was the light. I've got very interesting light.
Yes. Look at your people shots. Look what you've done with your people shots. They're the ones that have caught your eye are all fairly simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not complex photographs. They're fairly simple. They're all what I would call classic people shots. That works really well. Then your still lifes. I love the little wiener dog thing. That's clever as hell. Your still lifes are also quite traditional in approach. That tells me that you have that you're going into this with some sensibility already. And when you do these tear sheet assignments, something everyone, by the way, I would recommend you do them once a month. I'd really recommend you do it once a month. Go through a couple of magazines and pull out the shots that just interest you. Do not try to censor yourself. Just, I wish I'd done the shot. I wish I'd done the shot. I wish I'd done the shot. And that you could do the shot, technically, or gear wise. I mean, not necessarily technically. You always want to push yourself technically, but gear wise, you could have done the shot. It's such an important thing for the first year. You'll start to see how you see. And I know that sounds almost redundant, but it's not. We start to see how we see when we do these tear sheets assignments. Good job, John. Nicely done set of images. Something that I think you can live up to, don't you?
I'm trying. I'm practicing my lighting.
Good. Well, let's take a second here. Let's take a second here and let's look at the lighting on these shots. Now, we don't know for sure. We'll never know for sure, but we can make some pretty good estimated guess. How many lights on this one?
Which one are we looking at, Don?
Woman on the bottom left. I'm going to say either two, one big soft fill and one poppier little shot to get the highlight on the cheeks and the forehead and the arms, or one poppy shot and a very, very strong fill card presence, maybe right up next to her. I'm going to guess two. Looks like a big soft main, a big soft fill light, like maybe a 60-inch umbrella or big square softbox here, and then a very small softbox, maybe a beauty dish, something coming in over here, a very small light, which gives us these speculars. Let's look at the picture of the guy next to her. That's a single light portrait, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. There again,
Yep.
The background as well on both those shots is
Yep.
lit separately.
Yes. And when we're talking about these, we're only talking about the subject. We have no idea what they did to the background. They could have 3 lights on the background. We're just talking the subject. The gentleman next to him who's kneeling down, it looks like a single light, maybe natural light. Next shot on the right, big soft single light. Next shot of the young lady where it says flower power, looks like natural light or one big single soft light. Your Notion ad, 1 light. The guy sitting in the chair, 1 light. The couple over here, the snapshotty kind of thing with the 2 people smiling, 1 light maybe. Looks like maybe something high and slightly to the back, and she's got her forehead lifted up. The trio probably looks to me like the 3 lights set up. You got 1 on the back of each edge and then 1 in the front. So, you're looking pretty much a whole lot of single light shots, right? Look at your still lifes, a lot of single light shots. Now, that's eye-opening to me. That's eye-opening. That says, I might not need to have 14 pro photos to do the kind of shots that trip my trigger. I just need 1. I just need 1 nice big light. What do you have, John? Light-wise.
Light-wise, I have 6 strobes. Just normal, speed
lights.
Yeah. But I never use all of those. I have some that manually set off.
You got backups for backups.
Backgrounds. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a thought. Maybe your next light purchase should be, are you a UK or you're States?
UK.
So you guys can't get Paul Buff stuff there, right?
I haven't tried.
Yeah, it's probably not even, by the time you paid all the import duties and stuff, you'd probably be up around the same price as a Elinchrom Quadra or something like that. So maybe you're looking at 1 powerful light, 600 watt seconds, maybe 1,000 watt Dynalight with 1 head, and 1 big octabox.
I've got a
'Cause
big
if-
octobox, yeah.
Yeah, if that's all you had, you could do all these shots.
Mm.
I mean, even your food shots could be done with the Octobox. Even though I'd probably do them with the speed lights. Keep the light intimate. So I mean, that's the kind of thing that gives you clarity, isn't it?
I've been looking. I'm tempted, but
Yep.
at the moment I'm keeping myself gear light really.
Absolutely. I do not blame you.
Once I get more, once I get more experience,
I do not blame you. I'm going through a minimalistic thing where I'll be getting rid of a lot of stuff myself. I got a lot of stuff I never use, and I think it's time for that stuff to go to someone who'll use it. So, good set of images. And okay, and this is the image that you did. Now, for the image that you did for your tear sheets, you added another light.
I did because it was nighttime.
Yep. Yep.
I worked late, so I got back and it was nighttime. And
okay.
I wanted to do a sunny picture. So this is my sunny picture at night.
Yeah, works great. I would not have guessed nighttime.
Yeah, it was about 9 p.m. So the sun had set.
Yep.
We were wandering around in the dark. Having speed lights, we don't have modeling lights.
Wandering around in the dark with a pretty girl.
My daughter.
Yeah. Sounds like a terrible, terrible thing to have to do.
Yeah, no, it's my daughter, so that was okay.
Oh. Well, getting to hang around with your daughter is pretty fun.
Yeah, she's patient with me, which is good.
Yeah, that's always good. All right, yeah, and by the way, your light on this is pretty nice and clean. I think we need to open this up though, right here. Gets a little ruddy in here, and I think we could use a clone brush, and just bring this area up. So
I did actually have a reflector that side, and you can see under her chin. I've lit up under her chin.
Yep.
That was shadowed before.
Yep.
I got a reflector that she was actually holding. But it didn't reach the chin with the hair being there. So.
Yep, you needed one more reflector right back here, and I would have used the backlight to light that reflector up. With me?
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that would reflect it back in. Yeah, perfect.
Yep. Very good. Solid. Okay. Whose tear sheets are these? Stephanie Florence. Is Steph on here today? Oh, no. Steph, your tear sheets are fun. People and things. Great. Fantastic. Simple photographs. Lots of natural light here involved. And a lot of these shots, that's obviously studio. Simple stuff. Guess is always fun stuff. All right. Good. We'll see what Steph came up with. And we don't have this. Leah, are you on here today? Oh, okay. This is a beautifully done shot, Leah, with all your little lights catching here and catching there, and just making an exquisite background for these two pieces of jewelry that, to my eye, don't match. These look kind of goldish, and those look kind of whitish. I wonder if it's two different. Those have to be earrings, right? Anybody want to hazard a guess? No. It's all guys on here today, like we know what they are. Yeah, the light's really pretty, Leah. I don't get the disparity here. I don't know if that's the light that's doing that, or if they are actually two different pearls. Look like little pearls. These look like something else. Wow, this is a beautiful shot. You look at it on black, guys. It's just automatic, awesome. Jorge, this is a nice little portrait of this. This is an artisan there in Cambodia.
Archaeologist.
Archaeologist.
Yes.
Nice.
It's one of the ones I met at Angkor Wat, holding one of the few intact bases they found there. So
Oh, neat. Well, he's very he's enthusiastic. Good pose. I like how you centered him up in the frame and then centered the pot up with him. So we have, like three things: the background, him, and then the pot is most definitely the subject of the shot. Nice use of depth of field. It's not too soft back there. Is that the dig that we see back there?
no, this is at their lab.
Are those
This is
motorcycles?
basically a house. Yeah, those are motorcycles. Well, the
Okay.
cleanest background I could find there.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And then actually next week on Tuesday, I am going to shoot that base alone. I got permission to go through the warehouse.
Wonderful. Get some really awesome light. Get some really awesome light. Make it
Ow.
that don't I do not want you to take it and put it on a black background or a white background. Figure some way to make that shot so that it just absolutely jumps off the page, all right?
All right, I'll see if they let me touch it first.
Let them touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to shoot a bunch of old Hopi artifacts once for a corporate client who had a collection, and I had them move it. I didn't want my assistant to touch it. I wasn't going to touch it. I had them move it, and they that's what they do. They're used to it. Let them do it. 'Cause the last thing you want to do is go, excuse me, guys. You know that vase you had? Good thing I got a
Yeah.
picture of it.
Hey Don, how
Yes.
long have you been sitting?
What was that, Jorge? Do you have something? What'd you say?
How long have you been sitting down?
I just was walking around in the interim while I was trying to figure out why nobody was on the shoot or on the show.
All right.
Yep. And my little alarm goes off every 50 minutes, and I
Okay.
get up, play with the dogs. Yep. Now, even though in my particular situation, I could sit here all day because I'm taking blood thinners. But I'm not. I'm going to get in the habit of not doing that now, and not wait until they take me off the blood thinners if they ever do, and hopefully they do at some point. Of course, you get so spooked about this stuff. Ian,
Hi there.
hi there. Are these what they call thistles?
No, it's lavender.
Lavender. Okay.
We have a lavender farm about 40 miles from the house, and I thought one of my tear sheets, I had something similar, and I thought I really like the colours. It's just about 2 or 3 days before they're actually due to harvest it, so it was in its prime as far as.
Oh, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
No, it's backlit, so we've got some great color, and these little reeds that pop up here and there, they just give it a little sparkle. We got a little backlit on the tops of those trees down there to give it a nice feeling. I like it, Ian.
Yeah. I'm glad you do, because it's one of the hardest shots I've ever had to do. Nothing to do with the photography, it's just it happens to be a big tourist attraction, and there must have been about 4 coachloads of Japanese tourists. And I happened to have my parents visiting, and they were sort of running interference patterns, trying to keep the Japanese away so that I could at least take 1 or 2 shots. So we had a lot of fun just blocking people out of the image.
Oh, wow. That's a huge lavender farm. Now those all go for decorative flowers,
No.
or are they used in some?
No,
sort
the
of
farm,
herbal-
they press it and they create oils and numerous other products. You can get soaps and all sorts of things at the farm, so I assume they'll actually sell it commercially elsewhere.
All right. So what does it look like after they harvest it?
Just green.
Just green. Okay.
They just take the top 2 inches off, and then where you see the green bits on there, that's what it'll look like. Just
How
rather
many
stunty.
harvests? How many harvests a year?
1.
Oh wow! So once they take them, they don't grow back until next year.
That's my understanding.
Wow. Well, it's a beautiful shot. It's a nice. I like your very wide approach to it, almost panoramic, and it's not a shot that, like I say, I mean, one thing about landscapes, sometimes it's really hard to find a new way to do it, and sometimes instead of finding a new way to do it, the photographer will present what we've seen before in a new, fresh way, and I think that's important. Very nicely done.
Thank you.
Damien, nice use of depth of field, my friend.
Hi, Don.
How are you?
Thank you. I was. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm. Welcome back.
Thank you. This is.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried about the depth of field here. I thought it might be a bit too shallow.
Well, what you're doing with this is you're making a statement with this. You know, it is very shallow depth of field, and I think that statement that you make is kind of cool. It's almost like a painting in a way. It's kind of a graphic. You know, this is so sharp compared to this that I think it's a cool way to go, and I think that it helps. You know, there's 100 ways to do this shot, and you chose to do it this way. It's kind of a vision thing. Okay. The stuff that's really cool about it is you kept texture. I imagine this is yogurt, right?
It's creme fraiche, so it's a little bit thicker, but yeah, that's sort of
okay. Yeah, so we've got some texture in here, so we know that's not milk. We know that this is a thicker stuff in here because of these little lines here. It's all it takes to do it. Got the colors working very well. The little nuts coming out over here, a little hidden. This one down here under this leaf is, that's just a treasure there. It's just really fun to see that little detail because we don't see the spiky leaves very much other places, but we really see it right against that red there. So everything reveals. I like that. How did you light this?
Pardon me. It was outside on an overcast day, so it was mostly natural light. But there was and the light is coming from the right-hand side of the image mostly. I used the inside of a 5-in-1 to diffuse it a little bit more, and on the left-hand side was a big whiteboard just to add a bit more back onto the leaves.
Works, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean it was pretty simple, but as I was moving the boards around it, I could definitely tell there was it's definitely having an effect, I think. And
it's interesting, when you're looking through the camera and you're moving the boards, you can see a little bit, but when you take the shot, you see more, right? Well, part of that is, of course, because the photography compresses the scale. Our eyes see 10, 11 stops, and the camera's going to compress those 11 stops into 6 stops, 5 or 6 stops. And so what you end up with is more contrast on the image than we saw with our naked eye. Our eye spreads it way out, the camera takes it and compresses it. And so what looked like a very slight highlight along this leaf becomes a little bit more dramatic on the photograph. And I think that's something that when we're doing our work and we see these real subtle changes as we move the boards around, you might want to take a shot and see how much more it comes in to play. You will be hard pressed, everyone, to find a better light than a little bit of diffused sun or sunlight coming through a 5-in-1 diffuser, brought in close to your subject, and then a couple of white pieces of cardboard. You can spend a lifetime with that kind of lighting. What in the world? My other computer looks like it's trying to get a virus or something. Oh, interesting. Beautiful shot, Damien. I'd love to see
Thanks, Tom.
you do more like this. I really would.
Yeah, me too.
And we have Chris Dean. Chris, is this you?
No, that's my brother actually.
Ah,
He's got quite a lot of
And-
patience, so he's helped me out on a couple of things before.
and he's patiently listening for the flower to give him advice.
Yeah, something like that. My tear sheet's on Flickr, and there were a couple of things that I noticed from it, and one of it was sort of quite bold colour, and the other one was a couple of the images had a bit of a surreal sort of feel to them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was going after, really, the colour and the like surreal element.
Yeah, it works, doesn't it? It works. It's a fun, quirky little photograph. I could see this in. Well, let's see. Where would you see an image like this? I got a couple of places. Where would you see it?
In some ways, it's sort of. There's one thing that I don't like about it, which is that it looks a bit like you might see it as a headshot for a comedian or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like advertising a comedy show. He actually put it on his on Facebook as his profile picture, and someone said it looked like like a sitcom with a house somebody who lives with a house plant which has got obsessive compulsive disorder, which I thought was a bit peculiar. But
I think that's saying more about the guy who left the comment than it is the photograph.
yeah, I think possibly.
But I mean, think about this: a young man's created a biometric way of measuring electrolytes in plants, so we can actually hear plants. Wired magazine, Forbes magazine.
Yeah, and actually, quite a lot of the tear sheets I got were from Wired, and
Wired,
one of them was a guy talking to like a bird that he had in the palm of his hand. So that's sort of where I was getting this idea from.
Yeah, here's another magazine that has amazing images in it, and most people would never think of it. Popular Mechanics.
Okay.
Next time you're at the magazine rack, pick up Popular Mechanics and flip through it, and you're going to go, "Whoa! They're hiring some awesome photographers." Yes, they are. Absolutely. And I just saw that Chrisman has been doing a big shoot for Field and Stream. So later.
Oh yeah, I saw that on his blog.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, "What? Field and Stream?" I'm gonna have to go check it out. I want to flip through the magazine. If they're hiring Chris Chrisman, I'd like to know who else they're hiring. What else is happening in the pages of Field and Stream that I don't know of? Are you UK or local?
Yeah, I'm UK.
UK. That's right. I've already asked you that today. Oh. There's a magazine here in the States called Cowboys and Indians.
Uh-huh.
And wow, do they hire some awesome photographers. Just really cool stuff. And the other one that you might be able to get over there is called Cigar Aficionado.
Okay.
It's only printed 4 times a year, but it's printed on a 6-color press. So you can imagine the quality of the printing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice and great photography. So yeah, there we go. Wired magazine, for sure. Ooh, we got a car shot here from Miklos. Is Miklos with us? No. Miklos, nice car shot. They're hard to do. Getting that background to blur. We don't know if Miklos did this in camera or if this is a little bit in Photoshop. I don't know. I don't really care. Looks good. Miklos got the nice highlights on the top of the car. Nice done. Shooting cars is a real challenge. One of the things you got to watch out for is blue chrome. The blue chrome is because the chrome is reflecting that beautiful blue sky up there. Here's more sky being reflected. Here's more sky being reflected. And this reflection here, of course, is the other side of the road. But watch out for your blue chrome. You might just want to go in and isolate that chrome and take some of the blue out of it. over here as well. So it has more of this kind of, this is a reflection of the bright part where the sun is. Obviously, we got the sun right there. All of this stuff here. Really, really nice. Let's open up the wheels a little bit. We do want to see the wheels. Don't let them go too dark. In fact, the whole side, this whole dark part of the car, I'd probably isolate it and move it up about a half stop. Michael Kruger, not on here today either. Looks like an interior design shot. This looks straight, this doesn't. I don't know why. Does that look crooked to anybody else? Like this one's crooked to this?
The white wall?
Yeah, this edge right here of the little short wall coming up, going down here. This looks crooked compared to this one. This edge. This edge looks absolutely vertical. This one looks like it's leaning in a little bit, and yet this one looks like it's vertical. Does anyone else, or is it just an optical illusion?
I see it too.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring this over.
It does look like
Yeah.
looks like it's brown.
Yep. If I put my little GoToWebinar thing right along that cabinet, it's absolutely vertical. When I come over to that little wall, if I hide the bottom of the wall, I can actually, it grows into the picture. Now, long time ago, I was in Troon, which is a very expensive golfing community up north, and I was photographing a doorway with a big beam over the doorway and a clerestory ceiling, kind of a little mini dome ceiling, shooting it on 4x5, and I lined up the door using a string. So I brought the string straight back, set the tripod right up on the string, and go in, and I'm kind of doing the back of the 4x5, swinging and tilting. I could get the door straight. I couldn't get the beam straight. Then I'd get the beam straight, and the door would be off. So finally, out of frustration, I come out onto the dark cloth, and I look, and by God, the beam was crooked. They built the house with the beam crooked enough that it was visible to the naked eye. And I'm like, wow, this is $1 million house, and the beam was crooked. I would say going across the room was probably off by 4 or 5 inches. I guess $1 million just doesn't buy you what it used to buy you. Of course, today that house would probably be $2 million. All right, well, let's look at the rest of the shot. Nice lighting on it. I'm guessing, I don't know here, that I'm guessing that Michael is interested in interior design work, architecture, etc. Nice isolation here, Michael. I don't know what I would do about this, but it bothers me enough. I'd probably fix it in Photoshop. I think I'd grab this little edge, move it up, move it over, and fix it, because it just it really causes me a little bit of consternation. Bacardi, Pineapple Fusion, Stephanie, Florence. I guess it's empty. All right. When you're on the beach, I guess that's the best kind of Bacardi Pineapple Fusion bottle to have, is one that's empty. Then you don't notice that you're being eaten by the lobster thing, crab thing, or whatever that is. Stephanie, we got to work on the light just a little bit. I do like your concept. I think we got to make a little bit more interesting light, and maybe some mirrors or something bouncing some sun across here to get some streaks to make it look more like an interesting sunny day, a little bit brighter down here, a little darker over there, that type of thing. It's a little flat. You do have a nice, your focus is great as we go right through the bottle here. This is great. A little bit out down here, nice and sharp right here in the middle where it needs to be, and then going out just real softly right at the top. That's cool. I don't know what the blue is back there. Maybe that's the Pineapple Fusion in the sand. I don't know what it is. So we need to understand the blue more. And I don't know how to do that. So I mean, I don't know what that is. If that's just blue paint or if it's actually the Pineapple Fusion. If that's the case, we got to get highlights in it so we know that it's liquid. All right, and we've got Thad. All right, difficult shot, Thad.
Indeed.
Difficult shot. Lots and lots of angles. Looks like we got a big softbox on both sides. Is that what we have?
Softbox and umbrella.
Okay. And then we've got something up front. What is up front here?
I've got to remember. It was a while ago since I did this. I think actually what I had was a softbox up front and thinking. I think I had a strobe on either side with a diffuser between them.
Okay. Now this looks like a diffuser. Is this a diffuser?
Yes.
Okay, so we got strobes on behind two diffusers and then a softbox up front. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what we're missing, and this is what your jewelry clients will do to you. What we're missing is a white card back there to pick up this, where this wraps over and we get the black. A white card in back would have let that area, that's where this is reflecting, is back here. Same with this edge right here. It would have seen that white card behind. And we can see there's no white card behind because we've got the dark pearl up here. That white card behind could have taken care of this, but this one might be a white card that's up this way somewhere. The bottom part of the chain can go black. Over here, this is fine. Absolutely fine for this type of work. This would be fine. It's the black up on top here. That's what they're going to kick about. These guys look great. Your pearls in here look really nice, really good. It's just that we've got to fix that right there, especially as it goes back. See how it almost looks like it disappears here?
Yes.
We got to do that. And that's white cards. And once you get those lights set up, then it's just a matter of twisting and angling and all kinds of things to get those things to light up. So
Hey,
if
can I ask
you
a quick question?
yeah, go ahead.
I know you're talking about the white cards, and I've played around with them, but I can never get them in the right position. I'm always leaning them on something or trying to hold on to one and shoot with the other.
Ooh.
How do people? How do people get that right?
Well, you know what I always say about how many stands you should use or have. You know my answer to that, right?
What? I guess I don't.
Well, one more than you have. And that's exactly how I do it. I use old wire coat hangers, and I'll just clamp that coat hanger, wrap it around the stand, clamp it down really tight with like a Manfrotto super clamp. You know, A clamps don't work because they twist and but you clamp it down with a super clamp and it's not moving. And then out at the end of it, that's where I'll put the little white card. Because a card for this, 8 by 8 inches would be all you'd need. A little thin white 8 by inch card. And just kind of keep bringing it down until it's right out of frame maybe. Angle it up so that it lights up from your front softbox. If it's a bright white card, it'll reflect in here. And again, this inner reflection, you can leave that. That's natural. Our eye knows what that is. It's reflecting the surface. But these right here, yeah, and little short stands. One thing, if you're ever out at garage sales and somebody's selling old drum equipment, little cymbal stands, or music stands, which are real small, they're very lightweight. They'll hold a card. they'll certainly hold a card. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I do it. Are those cards. Now, the other way of doing it, plan B, would be to do the shot that you see right here. Camera's on a tripod. Then you move that card in with your hand until you see it light this up right over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boom, make a second exposure. Then do the same card and light this up, make a third exposure. Since the camera never moved, all you have to do is like cut, drag, and drop. And it'll drop right on top of your area here. And you know, sometimes you don't even have to do any blending. It's just so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So that's plan B.
Okay, great.
All righty. And we have some tear sheets by Entitled. Oh, this is the one we started with. Oh, all right. Well, good. All right. Fantastic. Interesting things while I was laying in the bed for 24/7. I can't tell you how much fun that was. And then they say, don't move. Okay. But I made a lot of plans and a lot of stuff for upcoming. Going to see some changes. I'm going to start doing a little more instruction here. And I think we need that. So I did some checking with how and if it's possible for me to use other people's photography to reference for teaching, and that's okay. So, I mean, one thing I don't ever want to do is plagiarize or offend copyright. But for teaching, I can drag over a photograph by Avedon or Pen and talk about it. So I think we're gonna be doing more of that. Well, I know we're going to be doing more of that, and you'll see it on the next assignment. So I hope that everybody sticks with it. Watch for a post from me on exactly where we go on the next assignment and so we get back into it, and we'll catch all this stuff up for sure. So, any questions, any comments? Moving forward. Anybody? Nothing? Well, okay
I'm
then.
just glad to see you're back, Don, and mostly healthy.
Oh, I plan on it. I plan on staying healthy. I really do. You should see me at this store now. I'm like grabbing the cans and looking on the back for carbohydrates. Let me just say that wasn't usually how I shopped. I was like, hey, that looks good. I'll eat that. So we're staying with it. Little bit of a dry cough, but the big cough went away, and it went away overnight. That was pretty interesting. I hacked myself practically to death a week ago today, and a week ago tomorrow. There was no coughing. So that means my lungs are clearing from the stuff I'm doing, and so I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing and try to get healthier. Maybe I'll run a marathon next year. Nah, that ain't happening. Every time I go and photograph a marathon, I see the guys coming over the end, and I'm going, and that's fun for you, right? That's because it looks to me like you're dying here. It's like, but gonna get better. Thank you very much. Thanks everybody for sticking with it, and we will see you next week.